Robert Eggers is a fairly new director. His first film came out just 6 years ago in The Witch, and his newest film, The Northman, a Viking revenge Norse mythology fantasy film, came out just last week. He's had 3 films at this point, and in just 3 films, he's already become one of my favorite directors working in Hollywood. I'm a big horror fan, and Robert Eggers' style and genre of horror is just something we haven't really seen that much before. I think he's doing a lot for the genre, and I'm always excited when he has a new movie coming out. So since we've had like a week to digest The Northman and really let it settle, I'm going to now rank what I think is my least favorite Robert Eggers film to my favorite Robert Eggers film. But at the end of the day, it's all Robert Eggers. I think he's an incredible director. So my third favorite, I guess my least favorite film from Robert Eggers, at number 3, I'm going to put his newest film, The Northman. The Northman is a Viking revenge film, and it is a brutal, violent, bloody, intense, dramatic, and just crazy-ass film. It stars Alexander Skarsgård, and the reason that it's at number 3 for me is because of all his films, like The Witch starring Anya Taylor-Joy and The Lighthouse starring Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson, I felt the least connected to Alexander Skarsgård's character in The Northman. And I get back then, set in the Viking Age, there was a lot of like revenge and family hatred, and like your fate was sealed depending on where your family was rivaling with what family. So his father was killed by a man, so right there his fate was sealed. He needs to kill that man to avenge his father. But there were so many times I just kept thinking, why are you throwing your life away to defend your rapist father? Like, you know, you could be doing so many other things. You got Anya Taylor-Joy. She's fucking hot. You could run off with Anya Taylor-Joy and just have a great life with her. And he has so many opportunities to give up on this. And the fact that he is just so unopen to change and unopen to new ideas and just is like so fixated on revenge the whole film, I get it, but I just found him a frustrating character to root for. The movie itself is so visually beautiful and technically so impressive. Northman is a beautiful Viking film to look at. I just never felt much of a connection to the main character, and I found them, honestly, I was questioning a lot of his decisions, which you never want to do with main characters. At number 2, my second favorite Robert Eggers film is The Lighthouse. 2019's The Lighthouse, Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe as 2 lighthouse keepers, just like bickering and fighting and going fucking insane. It's a slow descent into absolute madness, and it's one of the weirdest, bonkers, crazy-ass movies I've ever seen, and it's so fucking unique and interesting, and it's just these 2 people going crazy and a fucking seagull. Something I love about Robert Eggers, I love when he's restrained. I love when he almost has to work with what he's given, when his scale is not so large, when he's making movies in like a small one location and it's just like few characters. That's what The Lighthouse was. It's 2 characters at a lighthouse, and that's the whole movie, and you're just watching these characters fight, and you're watching them embrace and then hate each other, and you're watching them go fucking bonkers. And it's just like the disintegration of 2 people's minds inside this lighthouse, and it's a brilliant, brilliant movie. My number 1 favorite Robert Eggers movie, I think his greatest film he's ever made, and I think it's one of the greatest horror films ever made, is The Witch. 2016's The Witch. I think The Witch is an absolute masterpiece and one of the greatest horror films ever made. It drives me crazy when people say there is no witch in this movie. If you watch the movie, there's totally a witch in the movie. Not only is there a bunch of witches at the end of the movie, there's a witch in the woods that literally poisons Samuel and ultimately kills him. And aside from all that, this movie is the origin story of a witch. You take Thomasin, Anya Taylor-Joy's character, and she transitions. This whole film is about her becoming a witch. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. I have Black Phillip tattooed on my arm, so he's with me forever. And this channel, Evil Broomstick, gets its name from this movie, The Witch. The Evil Broomstick, we see the witch mashing up a little baby's blood and guts, an unbaptized baby, blood and guts in a pot, and then rubbing it on her broomstick and flying off into the moonlight. And that is an evil broomstick. This film is a true family drama at its core, and it's the deterioration of a family. A family that you think in the beginning of the film is so strong-willed that they will leave a town to stand by each other's side. And then you just watch this family deteriorate and turn on each other and backstab and learn to hate each other. And it shows how much you can do with so little. With great writing and great direction, you can do so much with 4 actors, a fucking bunny, and 2 goats. There's so many possibilities, and this movie is, I think, one of the greatest horror films ever made that showed that you can make great horror great, scary, terrifying horror without fucking CGI and without jump scares. All these modern horror movies today, like the Conjuring movies and the Nuns and It, and all these movies that think the way to scare people is with CGI monsters and with nonstop jump scares and loud bangs. Watch The Witch, watch movies like It Follows, and you will see how to actually scare audiences and actually terrify them on a real level that isn't just scaring them with a loud noise for 1 second and then they're just annoyed at you. The Witch is a true horror masterclass, and it's something everyone should watch, and everyone who says that nothing happens in this movie was not paying attention to the fucking family drama and just the annihilation, the deterioration of the family that this devil, Black Phillip, brought him. And this movie has one of the coolest endings of any movie ever. And I fucking love The Witch. So those are my rankings of Robert Eggers' movie. At number 3, The Northman. Number 2, The Lighthouse. Number 1, The Witch. At the end of the day, he's one of my favorite directors. I cannot wait to see what he does next.